Hi, Rich here, or Geezer. Greetings to all my fellow book lovers, book talkers, booktubers, and all-around geeks. Today, I'd like to talk about the most intimidating figure in Western literature, William Shakespeare. Don't stop watching this reel. Just give me a moment. Forget snobby professors. Forget erudite actors spouting off Hamlet and British accents. Forget all the holier-than-thou snoots who can answer every Jeopardy question on Shakespeare. I'm talking about this. This is a collection of Shakespeare's sonnets. And if you ignore all the old, crusty college professors, I'm here to tell you that the sonnets show Shakespeare was woke as hell. In addition to his 38 plays, which scholars agree changed the face of Western literature, Shakespeare wrote several cycles of long verse, including these 154 sonnets. The sonnets are full of mystery. In the first 126 sonnets, Shakespeare is writing love poems to a fair youth, a male youth. That is, a male poet is writing love poems to another man in a society that punished homosexuality with death. That's right, Elizabethans were homophobic in the extreme. It doesn't end there. In the final 28 sonnets, Shakespeare is writing love verses to a woman of color, known as the Dark Lady. Elizabethans were hardened racists, as bad or even worse than the white supremacists that control our government today. These racist Elizabethans considered blackamoors, that's what they called Africans, to be devils. On the racial front, Shakespeare did take chances. Think of his famous play, Othello. In the Elizabethan world, to write and produce a play where the protagonist is a black man was incredibly risky. Anyhow, back to the sonnets. Some might ask, how do I know these sonnets weren't like Shakespeare's plays? That is, written just for entertainment. That is, fiction. There's compelling evidence these love sonnets reflected how William Shakespeare truly felt. Here's why. We know very little about Shakespeare's life, but we do know Shakespeare published 2 other long-form poems in his lifetime. These verses were bestsellers back then, money makers, just like his plays. But his sonnets, he never published them himself. He just circulated them among friends. We don't know why, but we can guess. Because homosexuality was punishable by death. And everyone in power was a card-carrying racist. It was too risky to have the fair male youth and the dark lady out in public. But something happened. In 1609, Thomas Thorpe, an unscrupulous printer, essentially stole the sonnets and published them without Shakespeare's permission. Add to that a mysterious dedication on the front page to someone with the initials W.H. We think this was William Herbert, possibly the fair youth. And who was the Dark Lady? We'll never know. Google the Dark Lady and you'll go down a fascinating historical rabbit hole. The point of all this is that, in my opinion, the so-called father of Western literature was bisexual and, unlike his societal peers, had enough human empathy that he could recognize the humanity of everyone, regardless of their skin color or what Elizabethan society dictated. Here's a couple of lines from Sonnet 20, which reveals William was writing to a man. A woman's face with nature's own hand painted hast thou, the master mistress of my passion. a man in hue, all hues, in his controlling, which steals men's eyes. And finally, the Dark Lady sonnets, numbers 127 and after. They're exquisite. This is from sonnet 132. Then I will swear beauty herself is black, and all they foul that thy complexion lack. See you next time, and happy reading, everyone.